What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and as the release date, the U.S. release date of the new Joker film draws nearer and nearer, desperate media outlets have to get more and more insane with their headlines and rhetoric to get your attention. Now, I've often thought, and I know that this is just a theory, of course, that places like Vice and BuzzFeed are actually on the take for their hilariously bad full outrage pieces. Like, you don't write this article at Vice with any intention outside of getting people to run to the movies and buy tickets to see this film. Joaquin Phoenix won't talk about the ties between Joker and white T-word. You're kidding me, right? You can see the replies are not going well for them. With just 173 likes, you can see Chris Raygun in here. Go give RJ to a pencil sharpener, you vapid clown. The real issue is the problematic portrayal of Joaquin and Whiteface. I mean, you can see all this stuff. It's absurd. When did Vice turn into BuzzFeed? Well, I don't know, about 2 years ago, I think. And the meme I posted, while outdated, still holds true. Vice. We paid a freelancer to say a thing you liked is terrible because the Google-Facebook duopoly ate the whole digital ad market, and now harvesting hate clicks is the only viable business model for online media. Now, I don't agree with that second part. I think that you can do well without harvesting hate clicks. I think it's a short-sighted business model. Eventually you run out of things to be mad about or fake mad about, especially when you're not actually mad about it in the first place. It's really hard to sustain.
Hey, just a really quick word from this video sponsor, and it'll probably be the easiest ad read I've ever done because ever since I saw my friend Count Dankula had a Ridge wallet when we were speaking at a conference together, I wanted to get one. So I was able to get a Ridge wallet carbon fiber edition. And just to give you an example, of all the junk that I thought I needed to keep in my wallet that I just didn't need. That's what you get when you use a Ridge wallet. This is the carbon fiber edition. It comes in a really nice box. It comes with a screwdriver to adjust everything. I've hid everything I need in here. My driver's license, my credit cards, my IDs, all the various cards, insurance cards, things like that. There's a strap here for cash. And I'll tell you, it took maybe a day or two to kind of get used to, but I'm absolutely loving how this kind of forces me to minimize what I carry. And the thing just looks awesome too. So I brought them on as a sponsor. And if you use promo code QUARTERING, you'll save 10% off your order. And I definitely highly recommend this product. It's not that often that I get to do an ad for something I actually use and love, and this is one of those cases. So check out Ridge Wallet, use promo code QUARTERING to save 10%, and I guarantee you'll love it once you get used to just not having to lean to the side with a gigantic wallet in your back pocket. They have lots of different ones to choose. This is just the one that I got. Now let's get into this video.
But Joaquin Phoenix won't talk about the ties between Joker and bad things. He walked out of an interview after a reporter asked him whether the movie might inspire real acts. So, of course he did. What is the literal answer he could have given to that anyway? This movie, which by the way is actually universally loved by most critics, will probably be in the high 80s to low 90s on the audience reviews. It will make a fortune at the box office. Not Marvel money, probably not $1 billion, but an opening weekend in the hundreds of millions seems reasonable. I mean, I plan on seeing it this weekend if I'm up to it. The reviews are split on Joker. Really? Are they, though? Are they? Are they really split? Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. You have 76 on the critics, which is definitely low. Okay, so maybe you could say that's split. While some critics have called it a masterpiece, lauding it as an expertly made superhero movie that redefines the genre, others have criticized it for being too sympathetic to Joaquin Phoenix's character. In its disarmingly human portrayal of the jilted white guy who commits acts of terrible behavior, some argue it threatens to make viewers empathize with actual domestic idiots. Well, we have mainstream media doing that, proclaiming these heroes in black ski masks doing stuff, you know, worshiping them and calling them revolutionaries. We have mainstream media to do that. It's not movies like The Joker. He's also pretty uncomfortable talking about it. Oh, sorry. The issue has dominated the discourse surrounding Joker for weeks, but apparently Phoenix hasn't given it much thought. Why should he? He's just an actor in the film. He's also pretty uncomfortable talking about it. Well, who wouldn't be, by the way? Imagine just doing your job and having some soy-infused co-roommate of 7 other people asking you questions like, hey, do you think that this video will make people do horrible things? And what is your pre-apology for that? These are the same people that said PewDiePie was responsible for that moron doing what he did. Asked if Joker might perversely end up inspiring people, Phoenix froze up and suddenly left the interview. Well, he did the right thing, actually. I don't even know how you ask that. Why, he eventually mutters, his lip curling at one side. Why would you? No. Then he stands up, shuffles towards me, clasps my hands between his, and walks out the door. According to the Telegraph, Phoenix disappeared for about an hour and called a Warner Brothers PR rep to figure out how to respond to the question, which ultimately he never did. Instead, he told the Telegraph he'd never really thought about it. Well, okay. So isn't that an answer? By the way, huge credit to Joaquin Phoenix for even coming back. I wouldn't have done that. I would have moved on with my next interview with another moron that doesn't have any power to sell movie tickets. You know what would sell more movie tickets? Warner Brothers flying Joaquin Phoenix out to my basement and giving me an interview, or any other YouTuber out there who actually cares about films. According to the Telegraph, Phoenix disappeared for an hour. He panicked. He later explains because the question genuinely hadn't crossed his mind before. Then he asked me, not for the last time, what an intelligent answer might have sounded like. Even for someone who's notorious for staying out of public eyes, who rarely gives interviews, isn't on social media, and lives somewhat as a hermit, it's difficult to imagine Phoenix hadn't legitimately never mulled over that question, or at least heard of criticism leveled at Joker. Really? Why is that hard to imagine? No regular person has ever thought that about the movie. No normal moviegoer is like, gee, I wonder if this movie's going to inspire people to do terrible things in real life. What would these people have thought about all the 80s and 90s action films? It's a central part of countless reviews of the movie, so pointless. Basically, if a movie mentions this fact and gives it it doesn't matter if it gave a positive or a negative review, disregard it. It's a central part of the countless reviews of the movie, which have folks worried about lonely white boys with a capacity for bad behavior, might relate to Phillips's almost loving portrayal of a character who resembles an incel with a evil streak. The most concerning prospect is that viewers might identify with Phoenix's Joker, and they might want to imitate him. Why this film? Why not every other film with a villain? By the way, where were all these articles about the Joker for the last 10 years? A lot of people think it's going to be a really aggressive movie, Phillips said. Why it might affect you is why we tried to paint that with as much realistic brush as possible. So when it comes, it can feel like a punch in the stomach. Still, that doesn't do much in the way of addressing whether Joker is too sympathetic to the disaffected white man who commit reprehensible acts, with Joker hitting theaters next week amid buzz about the film potentially nabbing an Oscar. Of course it will get an Oscar because it's going to be a great film. It'll be interesting to see whether the audiences find it too dangerous to enjoy. Let me tell you something, Vice. Nobody seeing Joker is going to walk out feeling this way. This person doesn't exist. You don't buy a ticket to go see the Joker and then say, I wonder if this film is dangerous. Do you think everybody who sees a horror film is like, boy, I wonder if somebody's going to reenact what Jigsaw did in real life? I can't enjoy Saw because somebody might actually do what Jigsaw did. Nobody thinks like that in the real world. Yet critics continue to write these articles. Here's another one on the Daily Dot. Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips discuss whether Joker is a dangerous film. Of course it isn't. Here's the quote. I think that for most of us, you're probably able to tell the difference for right and wrong. And those of us aren't capable of interpreting anything in that way that may want to. People misinterpret lyrics from songs. They misinterpret passages from books. So I don't think it's the responsibility of the filmmaker to teach the audience morality or the difference between right and wrong. I mean, to me, I think that's obvious. Excellent quote. Couldn't agree with it more. Phoenix went on to say, you don't know what's going on to be there to fuel somebody. A few days later, he walked out of another interview when asked a similar question. While Joker is one of Phoenix's most high-profile roles to date that may win him an Oscar, this isn't exactly his first rodeo when it comes to dark, disturbing content. His role in Paul Thomas Anderson's The Master is arguably the precursor to Joker, and last year he starred in Leon Ramsey's terrifically violent thriller, You Were Never Really Here. Both characters were self-destructive and shaped by trauma, but neither film faced this kind of backlash because they were indie dramas. Well, because you wouldn't have grabbed as many headlines, right? That's why. Therefore, they didn't fall into the hero-villain framework of a superhero franchise. There were no public outcries about The Master promoting Scientology or substance because it existed in a different cultural context than the Joker. I don't think that, as somebody who grew up on Batman and Joker, I mean, Joker was never viewed as anything but the villain, ever. Like, ever. I'm not sure who these mythical people that look up to Joker are, but, I mean, clearly if you worship Joker and you think what he's doing is correct and that you want to mimic it, you're already a broken individual. But these articles seem to be placing the blame. You know what's going to happen? This is my biggest fear. This is what I'm mostly concerned about. And all these articles, I asked this question to you, Vice, and to Daily Dot, and all the other articles out there that are alluding to the same thing. Aren't you worried that writing endless articles about how this film will inspire white men to do bad things will inspire them to do bad things? Think about that tonight. Think about what you're going to inspire by your own line of thinking. By writing these very articles, aren't you worried about inspiring people to do bad things, Vice? I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Hey, thanks so much for watching this video, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Above, you'll find some links to watch more videos, as well as a nice big button to subscribe, which I hope you'll do. If you did enjoy it, make sure before you go that you leave a like and a comment on the video, because you are the #1 reason this channel continues to grow, and I appreciate you.